Battle Through the Heavens, Chapter 129. Xiao Yan unleashes flame-splitting tsunami to escape mercenary ambush. With his back against the cliff, Xiao Yan channels his ultimate technique to defy the overwhelming power of the mercenary leader. As the two-star Dou Qi closes in for a final strike, the young alchemist must maintain a chilling calm to survive this lethal encounter. The battle reaches a boiling point, where one decisive move will determine if he can break free from the deadly ambush.
Xiao Yan grew suddenly calm. Mu She narrowed his eyes and gripped his broadsword. He let out a cold laugh. He told the boy he would not fly away today. Mu She stepped forward. He closed the distance and then lunged. His heavy blade whistled through the air toward Xiao Yan's head. Xiao Yan felt the sharp wind on his skin. His face turned grim. A Dou Qi was far stronger than a Dou Zi. He knew he could not survive more than 10 rounds in a direct fight. He twisted his body and slid to the side. He avoided the first strike and spun behind Mu Shi's left flank. His Dou Qi surged through his veins. He raised the heavy Xuan ruler and swung it hard at the leader's head. The force of the black ruler did not panic Mu She. He jerked his broadsword up to block. A loud clang echoed across the ravine. Sparks sprayed into the air. Xiao Yan felt the vibration rattle his bones. The impact forced him back several steps. Mu She stood firm after only half a step. The wolf-head mercenaries cheered. They shouted for their leader to kill the boy and avenge their third commander. Mu She stared at the black ruler. He noted how heavy the weapon must be. He shook his head and told Xiao Yan that if this was his only trick, he should surrender his treasures. Xiao Yan rubbed his numb hands. His eyes turned cold. He lifted the ruler and exhaled a long breath. Then, he shut his eyes. The mercenaries stared in confusion. They thought he had given up. They watched him like a cat watches a trapped mouse. To them, a two-star Dou Qi could not lose to a boy. Mu She felt a flicker of unease. The energy in the air began to ripple and churn. He ignored the difference in their status and moved in cautiously. The other mercenaries noticed the change too. They gripped their weapons tighter. Mu She snarled that Xiao Yan was just plain ghosts. He stepped into range and hacked downward with all his might. Xiao Yan's eyes snapped open. He uttered a single cold word. He lifted the heavy Xuan ruler. Heat radiated from the black metal. The temperature climbed rapidly. He shouted the name of the technique in his mind.
Flame-splitting tsunami.
The energy of the ravine rushed toward the ruler. Visible streams of power poured into the weapon. The heavy metal turned a glowing, fiery red. The strange patterns on its surface shone like molten rock. Xiao Yan's Dou Qi drained from his body like a receding tide. His internal reserves went empty in an instant. He quickly swallowed a qi recovery pill he had hidden in his mouth. With the pill's power, he pushed the last of his strength into the attack. The ruler became a blur of burning red. He swung it in a wide arc. The air ahead of the blade seemed to evaporate and warp. A crescent wave of red light, half a meter long, shot out. It flew like a bolt of lightning toward the terrified Mu She.
Mu Shi's pupil shrank to pinpricks. He saw the energy take solid form. He knew only a Dou Qi should be able to project energy like that. He had no time to think. He poured his pale green Dou Qi into his blade. It formed a thin layer over the steel like a leaf. He used his strongest move, the wind blade dance. He swung his sword in a frantic blur, creating a thick mesh of shadows to shield himself.
The red crescent hit. A sound like a thunderclap erupted. Mud and rock exploded into the air. A figure shot out of the dust cloud. Mu She's feet plowed deep furrows into the ground as he was blown back. He slammed into a massive tree. The trunk shattered. The mercenaries gasped. Their leader was pale and covered in blood.
The ground was torn open. A crater half a meter deep sat at the center of the blast. Cracks spread 10 meters in every direction. The mercenaries stood frozen. They could not believe an 8-star Dou Qi had nearly killed a Dou Qi who was using a high-level technique.
The dust settled. Xiao stood with the heavy ruler in his hand. His face was white. His hands trembled as he gripped the black metal. His dark eyes burned with a fierce, cold light. The power of the Earth-class technique had filled the gap between their ranks. Xiao coughed and swallowed another pill. He looked at the surrounding men. They flinched and looked away. Mu She pushed aside a man trying to help him. His hands were mangled and dripping with blood. Fear filled his heart. He realized this boy was a nightmare. If he did not kill him now, he would never sleep again. He screamed for his men to attack. He claimed the boy was exhausted. The mercenaries hesitated, but eventually moved in. They closed the circle. Mu Shi told the boy he was dead. Xiao looked at Mu Shi's twisted face. He gave a small, mocking smile. He said he would not be staying. His body shook. A pair of small black eagle wings burst from his back. The crowd watched in shock. Xiao leaped into the void. His wings beat the air. He glided away toward the far side of the ravine. He shouted back that he would remember this day. He promised to return the favor in full. His laughter echoed through the dark as he disappeared into the night.